Good day, all you wonderful people. Welcome to Adventure Together. My name's Al, trail name Lookout, and today we are in beautiful Utah. Yes, that's right. Last night I drove down, or yesterday afternoon, I drove down from Colorado all the way here to just outside Moab. I actually went into Moab for a little bit, and then I came back out here, and I came here to camp because this is a free camp spot about 16 miles north of Moab. In the background you can see Castleton Tower, and there's a whole bunch of people here who are getting ready to go climb up it this morning bright and early, and I overheard some people saying they're going to have lunch on top. Sounds like it's going to be windy. It's windy down here. So what is in store for us today? Well, today I am going into Arches National Park. Well, or at least that's the plan. I read on the way in that it's reservations only, so we'll see how far that gets us with no reservation, just turning up. But I want to buy one of those national park passes and go around a few. The idea would be that we go to Canyonlands, Zion, Arches, and enjoy what they've got to offer, as well as a few other spots that I've got marked on my wish list or to-do list. I've already been to Arches and Zion in the past. I've already been to Moab in the past, so it's revisiting places that I really enjoyed the first time round. So when I was driving out of Colorado along the I-70, I thought the views were incredible, and it's not really a road that ever gets talked about, or at least I've never heard of anyone saying, oh yeah, go down the I-70, go west down it. It's really, really beautiful. There were parts of that were just like flat and desert towards sort of Utah border and then onwards, but closer on to Denver it was really, really sort of rocky. We're going through these canyons, there was a river going right past. I think that's amazing. And then last night when I was driving into here, I thought this road was incredible. So I'm going to try and prop up the camera so that you guys can see the road. I'll show you selected bits of it and see if you agree with me that it's a really nice road to drive down. There aren't many places that I've been in the last 6 months that I've wanted my wide angle lens, but this is definitely one of them. You can't get the shot just with that narrow 24mm. So, ladies and gentlemen, Arches does require a reservation a few days in advance, it seems. I went to book one for tomorrow, and the only time they had was 3 o'clock onwards. Like, 3 o'clock? How can you see everything from 3 o'clock till? So we have come to Dead Horse Point State Park, which is very nearby Canyonlands, and I've read a lot about it over the years, and it was never really super high up compared to all the other places. But seeing as I have a day spare, let's check out this very highly rated and probably under-visited state park. So we are going to follow this East Rim Trail here, and this is where we are at the visitor centre. We're going to take this East Rim Trail down here. We're going to go on that West Rim Trail there. We're going to go to the Bighorn Overlook up here, and then we're going to double back and come back to the visitor centre. All in all, about 8 miles. Sounds like it's going to be pretty good to me, and I think it'll encompass most of what the area has. I'm excited, let's go. Look at that view, ladies and gentlemen. That's simply incredible. Now, as far as I remember from when I was last up, not in this particular spot but around this area, someone told me that this was all once an ocean or an inland sea, and as the water retreated it left these formations, washed out the sand and sediment and left the rock the way it is. That's why we've got such dramatic cliffs and all these sort of lumps and bumps and everything like that, and then we've got plateaus in the middle. And down there on the bottom right you'll see the Colorado River. We're about 2,000 feet above that, and on the left you can see those bright colored ponds. Now those are salt evaporation beds, and the guy from Veritasium, a science channel, actually came here, and so I learned quite a bit from one of his videos a few years back. So those are vinyl lined pools, and what they're there for is to evaporate the water and leave behind salt. So where this was once an ocean and it was salt water, all of that salt has gone beneath the earth and been sort of soaked away. So they send down water, they pump water into nearby cracks and caverns, and then extract the salt water, then put them in those vinyl lined pools, add a blue dye to make it evaporate faster, and then the water will evaporate into the air, leaving behind all this crystal salt, and then they take up the salt and sell it. Here's a better view of those potash salt evaporation beds. Basin overlook. Let's go for it. Look, ladies and gentlemen, it's a white blaze. We're back on the Appalachian Trail. It looks nothing like it. Time for the next leg of our journey. We are joining the West Rim Trail. Ah, there's a post in the way. Look at that cliff, just goes straight down. In fact, it does that all the way around. This is a trigger warning for anyone who's really scared of heights. Yeah, straight down, completely vertical. Now this part of the trail is called the Neck, which I'm assuming because the canyon comes into this sort of choke point here. But we're still not at the southern end of it. We're going to keep going south till we get to the very end. Here's our little blue blaze that we're going to do. We are here and we're taking that Bighorn overlook trail, 1.25 miles. That's probably one way. So I'm going to do that, 2.5 miles, and then double back to the visitor centre. Oh, no one told me there was going to be elevation gain on the way back. Oh my. So we made it, ladies and gentlemen. This is the Bighorn Overlook. Wow. So ladies and gentlemen, we made it back to the car from the viewpoint. It wasn't too far, it's like 2 miles less, and I decided let's see if we can get into Canyonlands today, sleep, go do some stuff tomorrow, fill up the whole day. So that's where we are, Canyonlands. Let's go and see what they say at the ticketing office, whether it's possible. We rocked up to Canyonlands and they said come on in. So I've got my camp spot just here, and only because the campground was full, but the people who are staying here are absolutely wonderful and saw I was looking for somewhere and offered me this because they're staying in their van and I'm allowed to use their camp spot. So ladies and gentlemen, it's getting close to sunset and I am just getting to a viewpoint down here in Canyonlands. How's that for a sunset, ladies and gentlemen? What a day, ladies and gentlemen. It's beautiful being out here, and I was thinking about how much it reminds me of Australia with the red dirt and the sort of barren landscape. And when I tell people that I lived in the Australian outback for 5 years, I often think that people believe that I lived in a completely flat desert, but no, it was a little bit like this: cliffs, canyons, rock pools, waterfalls, and yeah, it was hot and dusty, but it was beautiful in its own way, and I loved getting out every time I had a weekend off and getting to explore. And so I feel sort of homesick, I guess, for a place that isn't my home, but a place that I spent 5 years, and I have really enjoyed being here today. There's something deep and spiritual about being in a landscape that you adore so much. The sun is pretty much going down. It is super windy. I'm not even sure you'll be able to hear my voice on this recording, but if you can, that's all I have for you today. Thank you for joining me, and I'll see you in the next one.